Welcome everybody out today to podcast number 465. This is going to be a shorter podcast, and we're going to talk today about focusing only on the tools. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. I hope you're doing well. This little topic was brought up in a visit that I did to Texas with a really neat group of people, and they helped me to see this analogy, and I figured I would share it with you, even if it was on one of these little quicker podcasts. And I've been dealing with this for a number of years in the sense that there are folks in lean and in construction that just want to focus on the tools. And this happens a lot with project managers. Don't be mad at me for saying that. It happens a lot with project managers. They focus mostly on tools and check the box, and they don't go any deeper. And I'm imagining in my mind this scale, this spectrum of, like, if you think about it from the left to the right, on the left of this spectrum would be nothing's done. You creep a couple of ticks over to the right, it's something's done. A couple of ticks over is it's done. And then a couple of ticks over there is, it's done to the point where I won't get in trouble. And then way over to the right, many ticks over, way over to the right is it's done well enough to determine success. And then a couple of ticks to the right, there's perfection. And most project managers, project engineers, people, even superintendents, different people in the field, and in our industry in general, will just do something to where it's just good enough, to where they just won't get in trouble for it. I'll just get these submittals and things done to where it's in Procore or whatever, and it's on here. I don't know what the hell I use it for, but it's done. I won't get in trouble. Or I did the fresh eyes risk analysis well enough to where I won't get in trouble. Or I've got enough RFIs processed to where I just won't get in trouble. And it's not done well enough to where we're actually implementing the system. And so at one time I remember, and you might find this interesting, but at DPR, they have a project engineer boot camp. The first one that they ever did, and I think it was in 2013 or 14, they did with me, and it was remarkable. There's still people that talk about that boot camp, and it was specifically for project engineers, and it was different than the field engineer boot camp. And we centered it around the quality process and this concept of plan it first, build it right, finish as you go, managing scopes. We were like, project engineers do not submit RFIs. They do not focus on submittals. They do not review submittals. They do not, enter in subcontractor pay applications. They manage scopes from start to finish. They oversee scopes from start to finish. They create flow for scopes start to finish. They don't just focus on tools. So I've been dealing with this for a long time and seeing these patterns. And so in that boot camp, we said from the inception of a contract, what you're doing is you're scoping out a scope of work. You're buying out a contractor, setting them up for success, creating a partner, preparing everything needed to begin work, doing a pre-construction meeting, doing a first in place mock-up of that work, and doing continuous and follow-up inspections, and then final inspections to close them out, and then completing any owner change orders to make sure that the scope is to the customer satisfaction. You are overseeing that process from left to right, from start to finish. You are not just an RFI monkey or a submittal monkey or a payout monkey. And it's been really hard to get people to understand this. So people are not professionals just because they've mastered some of these skills. You have to master the scope. So if I had a quote for this podcast, it would be, and I hope I remember this when I type it in, don't just master the skills, master the scopes. We have to be creating value for the trade partner that we're helping. We have to be creating value for the owner that we're delivering value to. We have to be delivering value to the people on the project team that we're helping. And this analogy came to my mind, and this is why I wanted to hop on a quick podcast and share it with you. Imagine you're in the hospital and you are in an emergency and you need help and you're asking and begging for help. And the doctors and nurses and technicians, and even all the way to the janitors, when they come into the room, they come up to your IV and they don't make sure the IV is flowing to you. They check the stand, the bag, the hangers itself, and they're like, this IV is working. And they don't look at you. And you're like, help me. I don't feel well. Something's wrong. You're like, and that nurse or that doctor comes in and just checks that IV and says, this IV is functional, and then leaves. And you're like, can somebody help me? I'll send somebody else in. Then somebody else comes in and they just come in and they just check the heart monitor. And they're like, this heart monitor is working properly. I've double checked it twice. I hear your concern that you don't feel well, but I've checked this heart monitor and it's working properly. I'm leaving now. And you're like, but you haven't helped me at all. I need somebody to help me. I'll send somebody in. And then the next person comes in and there's another machine that they go to and they're like, this, I understand what you're saying that you need help, but this machine is working properly. And they just keep coming in and checking the tools. They just keep coming in and checking the equipment. They just keep coming in and verifying that the processes in there that need to be functioning in their siloed forms are working. You hear the same thing with project managers. I want to make sure the supply chain is working. Oh, well, we have the submittal register on Procore. It's fine. I want to make sure that our financials are good. Oh yeah. We use Timberline. That's all accounted for in there. Yeah. I want to see if we're making production. Oh no, that's all on Heavy Job. We have that. It's all done. Every time they come into the room, they're checking a process or a piece of equipment, saying it looks fine and telling me I'm okay. I'm not okay. Something is still wrong. I need you to treat me as the patient. I need the doctors and nurses and technicians to come in and treat me as the patient. I need them to listen to me. I need them to know the tools are working and to be able to treat me individually. I need project engineers and project managers to, have your RFIs going, have your submittals jamming out, have your logs, have your submittal register. But if I need help, and I'm telling you materials are late, or I'm telling you there's a production problem, or I'm telling you there's a schedule problem, don't just tell me you have a tool for that. Tell me, help me look into the process. Help me as a scope, as a trade, or as an owner, or as a team member to be successful. Treat me as a patient. Create flow for me, and have a holistic approach. Don't just treat the symptoms and focus on the tools. And I hope that has made some sense. If I was a patient or you're a patient in a hospital, and every time you screamed out that you felt like you were going into shock and you were panicked, if somebody came in and said we were fine because the tool, the IV, the heart monitor, and the machines were working, and you didn't see anything wrong with how the machines were working, you would either die, pass out, or you would throw a fit because they weren't listening to you. The same thing in construction. We have to stop thinking that we are tool jockeys or tool monkeys or just people that focus on the repair of tools. When I hire somebody to come out and fix my air conditioner, I can't tell you how many technicians come out. Oh, that part works. Everything seems to be working fine. Yeah, but my cuss word air conditioning doesn't work and I live in Phoenix. Can you look at the system for the love of God? And in construction, the same thing. It's like, we have late materials, or we're not getting things approved on time, or our crews aren't making production, we're losing money. Yeah, well, everything's fine because we have these logs, and I have Procore, and I have Heavy Job, and all my tools are fine, so we should be fine. And yet we're freaking losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Holy cow, can we wake up and start treating it as a system? Can we start treating the patient? Can we fix the air conditioning system? Can we make sure that the patient is alive? Can we make sure that the owner is happy? Can we make sure that the trade partner is successful from beginning to end? And can we fix the problem and look at it from a holistic view? On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.